Hey y'all, I'm going to introduce myself for those of you all who don't know me. My name is Candy G. For my Spanish speaking friends, Candy and Candy Buenaventura is my channel name. Candy and Buenaventura, which is good adventure in Spanish because I love a good adventure. So today I'm going to tell you guys about my recent trip to Colombia. For those who know me, they know that I love traveling to Colombia. It's like my second home. It's my favorite country next to the Dominican Republic because I love them too. But this last trip that I took to Colombia, I was there for 3 weeks, and by the time that I was leaving, the date that I was supposed to leave, I went to the airport. I went to immigrations to leave the country. And when I got there, they have the passport scanners that you can scan to go through and go on to TSA, to security. So I tried to scan my passport and it kept denying me. So I'm like, what's going on? That's never happened. So I tried it like 3 times. One of the attendants came to help me. It wouldn't work. My flight was set to leave at 7 a.m. I came to the city, which was Bogota. I was at El Dorado Airport in Bogota. And we got there. My flight landed there like at 6 a.m. I had to cross the whole airport to get over to immigrations. Okay. My flight was gonna start boarding like at 6:30, something like that, 6:15. I don't know. Whatever the case, I had a short amount of time to get from the airplane to immigrations and get ready to get to the plane. So I make it to immigrations probably about 6:15. I'm in line. Well, I go, like I said, I go over to the scanner. It's not working. They tell me, oh, you have to go get in the general boarding line. I'm like, what? The general boarding line had dang near 100 people in there. So I go get in line. I got this sinking feeling inside like I'm going to miss my flight. So I got up the nerve to ask some people to skip them. So this one lady, she let me skip her. Get in front of her. She was like on the maybe second rope to the front to get to immigration's officer. So she let me skip her. I get to the front of the line. They say, Sigue for the next person. She goes in front of me and goes to the attendant. I'm like, what was that? You said I could skip. Like, okay, whatever. So I waited for her to leave. I get up there. At this point, it was like 7 o'clock. At this point. No, my flight was set to leave at 7:30. At this point, it was 7 o'clock. I get up there to the officer, the immigrations officer, and I'm like, I'm telling them for some reason my passport was not working. It wasn't scanning. I couldn't get through. So they look at everything and they're like, it looks as if you've been in this country since 2022. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they were like, when did you come? So I was like, May 28, 2025. I just came like maybe 3 weeks ago. So they were like, well, the last stamp that you have in your passport for Colombia was 2022. I'm standing there like a deer in the headlights, like, what are you talking about? Like, what? Like, what? So basically, at this point, I'm being accused of overstaying my time in the country. Now I'm an illegal alien here. I'm an illegal immigrant. So I'm like, it's like, no, I just came here. They're like, okay, you're going to have to get out of line. We're going to have to take you to this office over here. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm about to miss my flight. So at this point, like, my flight had already sent me the email saying that they were boarded and everything. The gates are going to be closing probably in 5 minutes. At this point, I'm like, I'm stuck here. Like, I'm stuck in Colombia. So they took me to an investigation office where I had to go in there. I had to fill out this paper telling, like, what happened, why did I not have a stamp for the entry of the country, which that didn't cross my mind. I'm going to tell y'all what happened. So I'm like, they didn't stamp my passport when I came into the country. I realized that after I get in the investigations office. I'm like, I mean, I did come here in 2025. I haven't been here, for a couple of years. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. They're like, you don't have a new stamp. So I'm like, okay. Now remember. So what happened was, when I got to Bogota, that's the city that I came to when I first came to Colombia in this last trip. That's the city I arrived to. And when I got to the airport and I got to immigrations, it had to be like 200 people in line. I get in line. I'm waiting. So, you go around the little ropes or whatever. So I get like to maybe the next 2 sets. I'm standing there. I start feeling lightheaded. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, something ain't right. So I'm moving along. Start feeling hot. And then I started feeling like I'm about to pass out. So I was like, nah, this feels crazy. Like, I'm not about to pass out in this line. So I started asking people like, hey, let me get by you. So I skipped the whole immigration line and went to the front to let them know, hey, I'm feeling like I'm about to pass out. So they got me some water. They let me sit down in one of the immigration officers' booths. I'm sitting up there waiting around, and they were like, we're going to get somebody to attend to you. So I'm like, okay. So I had a couple of medics come, and they took me to this area, had me sit in some chairs, and they asked me, like, was I traveling alone? And they took my vitals, my blood pressure and everything. They was like, that was all fine. So they were like, well, this can happen because Bogota is like in the highest altitude in the mountains in Colombia. So the air is thinner there. So you have people who's not accustomed to that, like they come there and they may feel like they're going to pass out or something like that, which the time I've been to Bogota like multiple times and that's never happened to me. So it was crazy. So I'm like, okay. So I sat there for a minute. They were like, okay, just take your time. What's your name? Where you come from? They took all my information in this little device. Like some type of cell phone or something like that. Little iPad. So I'm thinking, with them doing that, they're taking my entry information, to have me, registered to be here in this country. That's what I'm thinking. Like, instead of me standing at the booth talking to an officer, y'all taking my stuff right now. So after they took my information, they told me what I should and should not do after I leave the airport. Don't go climbing the mountaintop and all that kind of stuff. And you're good. Like, take your time walking out of here. You're good. It's good to go. So I was like, okay, adios, gracias. Go on by my business. Went on, spend my time there. Get to the airport, back to where we started this story. And here I have this issue. So I told them the whole story, that doing all of this whole situation, I didn't realize that my passport didn't get stamped. Like, it never crossed my mind. So now I'm in here looking crazy like I'm a illegal immigrant trying to stay in this country because they didn't stamp my passport in the beginning when I first got there. So it was a little scary for the moment, but it was, it's okay. It's everything turned out okay. I ended up having to go, well, they let me through security, so I had to go to the airline. I lost my flight, of course. Had to go to the airline and tell them what happened, show them a little piece of paper that they gave me, let them know that I was irregular entry, and they scheduled me a new flight, but the next flight wasn't until like 2 days later. So they gave me a voucher for a hotel, voucher for transportation, and breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the next 2 days. So it's cool. I got 2 extra days in my favorite country hanging with, my Colombian friend and his family. So it was cool. I mean, everything turned out good. But guys, no matter what happens, like if you get in the airport and you feel like you're about to pass out somewhere, anything, you talk to the medical people like I did, make sure you still get a stamp in your passport. Like, I had no thought in my mind about, oh, they didn't stamp my passport. I just figured I was good because they would put my information in the system. Like, I'm registered. I'm here. I'm good. I was not good, y'all. Even after those 2 days that I stayed there, when I went back to the airport, they still, when I tried to go scan out of the country, it's still, my passport still didn't work. So what I did was I decided I'm gonna explode. I'm not even gonna get an attendant over here to help me try to scan this passport in. I'm gonna walk over here to the immigration's desk. I'm not gonna get in no line or nothing. And I'm gonna act like I don't know where I am. I don't speak Spanish, nothing. Like, hey, somebody help me. So I did that, and they were looking. They're like you need help. So like I went over. They were trying to figure out how to help me. You know, somebody trying to translate for me. And I was like, hey, like I was here the other day, and this same thing happened. My passport went scanned. Like, what do I do? What do I do? So I showed them my little piece of paper, and they immediately got me out the way. They got me help. I went to security, made it back to the USA. So here I am. Here I am, y'all. But anyway, so that was my experience with almost becoming an illegal alien in Colombia. being fined or something. Thankfully that didn't happen. Of course that wasn't gonna happen because I was innocent. But anyway, so if you guys like my information, my informational story, please give my video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I have more to come for you guys. Holla at you.